Mr. Pravin Amre. He is a very good friend of mine. We used to know each other for quite some time, but he was not aware that I had learned NLP, that I had learned peak performance technique. NLP carries another name also, which is peak performance techniques. NLP teaches you to peak at the right time in your performance. That is why it is called peak performance technique. And that is why it is used by sportsmen and other people who want instant peaking at a particular point of time in their performance. So he was not aware that I had learned this. Neither was I aware that he would be helped by this. But we used to meet each other and we used to talk about so many things, and naturally about cricket, because he is a cricketer. So one day what happened is, he said that he is preparing for the coming Ranji season. And I offered him that I know peak performance techniques. Do you think it will help you? So let's try. And we started doing the sessions together. I wouldn't say that only my trainings produced results. It was his efforts as well, and his physical as well as other efforts. But my peak performance trainings did help him in producing very good results. He is one of the top run getters in that particular Ranji season. So naturally he took me along with him to Air India, where he was a captain of their cricket team, and made me talk to those players and impart training to them as well. That team too was at the bottom of the table, Times A sheet, bottom of the table. From there they started. I did the training for 2 years with them. They came up to semi-final level, that is 4th level. Out of the top 4 teams, it was one of the teams, from bottom of the table to them. So naturally, we produced results, and that is why we were very happy. So when Sucheta ji asked me to conduct a seminar here, I said, who else better than Pravin Amre to talk about the results of NLP that he has experienced. So in about 10 minutes, he may talk of his experience of NLP. He used to have those seminars in MIG Club, where it was a kind of a meditative kind of a technique which I taught the players, and visualization of future matches and their performance, visualizing a better performance in the coming match. And as I talked just now, I talked about reticular activating system. So asking your reticular activating system to produce a particular result in the match. And we had very good players. Narendra Irvani and such test players were there. Sairaj Bautule, Narendra Irvani, Paras Mamre, most of them are India test players. They were there in the side. And Sanjay Mandlikar used to be their guide. And he was the captain. He also used to guide the team. So I will ask Pravin to talk about whatever his experiences are.
Yeah, morning everybody. Thanks, Shekhar. Yeah, as he said, we used to meet every day in the evening at the Shivaji Park in Khana, because I used to practice there. And he, as a regular member, he used to be there. And just coincidentally, we just discuss, what's he offered me this is that there are you can improve your performance. There will be some inputs and there are some tools basically. That's what exactly he said, because I personally believe in that, because you have to update yourself every day if you wanted to be professional. And I had a couple of sessions. Then I said it's important you should go to the other players also. So as I was an Air India employee and I was a part of Air India for the last 20 years, I said why not this players, all the players, because I think it's not just your talent, it's not your just skill, but sometimes there should be the proper thought process, and goal settings are very important. And I think that's this technique, it shows that how to visualize. I think it is all, I personally feel all great players got a concentration and they got all visualization. Without that they can't reach where they are. And I think that's what I saw when I was very close to Sachin also, the way he used to go. It's not just that, but unknowingly he was doing that, visualizing. In our cricket terms, basically one day before you will go to the wicket, you will see that pitch and make sure what will be the balls, which will be my area to score. So those are the things unknowingly he will visualize. So I think that's technique, like that's the reason he was great. It's not like the match of the morning you wake up and go there and score. I think there is a lot of process behind that, and I think that's what exactly happened when we work with our. In fact, I tried to work with the junior boys. I think
even MIG Academy I did with Shivaji Park Gymkhana team, Shivaji Park Academy.
So because I think it's how you think is very important. I think that's the main concept in that. Yes, what he said, like we were all working hard. It's like 12 hours working on the ground. But actually, it's also important how you think also. So maybe that's where his input was important to the players, because when you become a professional player, it's like your every decision making is very critical, especially in cricket. So you are your own decision, even though it's a team game, you are individually you have to make your decisions, and your decision will, affect the team's result. So if you play well, you contribute. But if you have bad decision, your team will be loser. So those are the aspects was there basically when we worked on those particular kinds, like how you can collectively thinking positively, so that team will go. And I will tell you, like that particular we reached semi-final, but last 3-4 years we back-to-back we won the titles also. So that was my role, like giving those seeds of thinking rightly to our team, and I think that's very important. And I think maybe to all professions I think suits, because it's important how you think, how you visualize, where you exactly want it to be. I think those are the things, and sometimes you are demoralized or something, the results are not what you are expecting. But then this technique or the thought process are right, you recollect yourself again and you can go there and achieve your goals. I think that's where I personally feel, because for sportsmen every year is challenging. It's not like 1 year you perform and that's enough. I think that's where the consistency counts, and that's why your mind has to be consistent, thinking about positively. And I think that's what these are the tools can be effective with thinking. So yeah, bottom line is there, like you have to do hard work, you have to enhance your skill, but it's also like how, because cricket is also the part of like a physical, your cricketing skill and a mental toughness, and these are the tools which will affect you to become mentally strong. And I think that's where I think this role was there, because we as a cricketer we think like it's a 20% basically skill, 80% mental. We hardly work on 80% actually. We go there hours and hours practice, that's a 20% skill. But 80% how you think is equally important, and that's the reason I personally felt like there is a role for that, because I'm sure like there are Australians, there are so many people, they have worked on those mental toughness, because 10 years back we used to think about Australians are very strong in mental, there's nothing impossible for them. But I think those are the technique was they were using, like how you think, how to be positive in all situations, and even especially cricket, there are so many current situations comes. I think who are the mentally strong, he can go ahead. Especially in today's world where the competition is so hard, I think skill-wise there are so many equal, but who is mentally strong, who can go ahead, or rather who can achieve. So I think this can be worked, and that's why we tried in the cricket also. Like these are all, sometimes we feel like there are 10% factors basically. Those tools can enhance your performance by 10%. And if that, because we know as a batsman, how important is that difference between getting out in the 90 and scoring that 100, because those 10 runs really matters. So I think that's the reason, whatever as a coach, I personally feel like getting these inputs are vital to taking players to the next level. I think that's what I feel.
Thank you.